It's a Mets off day. Giraffe neck Mark Luino. I wish they were playing because the boys are buzzing. And luckily we have the Knicks playoffs. We have the NFL draft. Draft day, it's Johnny Manziel. How am I the man 5 years later still? Well, the Mets are the man right now. And this is Mets Up podcast host, Mark Luino. I was going to say this is Mets Up, but I am not James Shiano. I don't have a luxurious set of hair. This is Mets Daily. You can subscribe on YouTube. Smash that thumbs up on the video right now. Comment below. Let us know what you think of the best team in Major League Baseball. And, you know, Mark, a lot of people will say Mets fans are cocky and it's only April. Do they know that me and you have not experienced a ring, a parade in our life? Do they know the collapses, the rally dildos, and everything batting out of order, the text messages, the harassments, the DUIs, everything that we have been through with this franchise, that when they are the best team in baseball, we will let you know about it?
I think that they actually do know, but I think that's part of the reason why they don't understand it is because they're like, you guys are still the Mets, but what they don't realize is this is a different Mets. This is not the Mets that do the text messages, that do the rally dildos, that do all the nonsense. This is like a team that is legitimately just good at baseball and goes out every single day and gets the job done.
Cirque du Soleil and the circus used to be in the parking lot outside of Citi Field. It's staying in the parking lot. You know what? They shipped it back to Vegas. It's not even in the parking lot anymore. The circus has left Queens. And like you said, when people talk about those things, it's past regime. So when I hear about this and that, I'm like, have you met Steve Cohen? Have you met baseball mastermind David Stearns? Have you met lightning in a bottle manager Carlos Mendoza? I mean, Carlos Mendoza is a silent assassin. He will never make a headline. He will never say anything you question. He'll never flip the table. He'll never have his ass in the jackpot. He's just different. Like, he is like, there needs to be a movie, The Silent Assassin, where Mendoza's like killing people because he's got that Midas touch. Every button he's pushing, every signing Stearns is making, and every dollar Cohen is cashing is working.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you get adults in the room. Like, the Mets for so long had so much dysfunction, whether it was from ownership. We had an agent that was our GM because we were hoping to get a better deal on some of the players that he had previously, been an agent for. Like, now that the Mets have adults in the building with Steve Cohen at the helm, who's given all the money, making the big decisions, David Stearns, who's the player development, scouting, he's the king. He's the man. Like you said, everything he touches is amazing. He just makes good move after good move after good move. And even with Mendoza and Hefner and Eric Chavez, there was an article that came out from Disha about Chavez's conversations with Francisco Lindor and just how mature these conversations were. And also everybody is just focused on winning. They want to win. They want to win now. The eyes are all on the prize. And this is exactly what you could hope for as a New York Mets fan. All the nonsense and all the bullshit's gone. Like, they just play good baseball.
And, we have to honor David Stearns, considering today is the 21st anniversary of my bar mitzvah, April 24th, 2004. So I feel like I need to drink in honor of my 21st bar mitzvah anniversary. Those were the Mordecai days. Those were the days you're going to the ballpark, you're trying to meet Mo Vaughn, you're trying to meet Roberto Alomar. Now you're going to the ballpark, walking around with your chest out like you're Vince McMahon and strutting your stuff because this team just had the largest attendance 7-game homestand in the ballpark's history. They're getting 37,000 on a Wednesday afternoon, school day. And I don't want to hear Yankee fans replying to my tweets with, that reeks of unemployed. Well, listen, I'm unemployed. I mean, I freelance. I'm technically unemployed, so F you. But, it reeks good baseball. Like, it reeks people like the girl Becca bringing her laptop to the ballpark. The Mets ran with that, their laptop at home. Now that they allow laptops, hey, even the non-unemployed are going to the ballpark, and they're working from the game because it's must-see TV. And I tweeted this, and it blew up the other day. It was just a simple tweet. It's always the simple tweets that blow up, along with the fried Oreo food reviews, which is breaking TikTok right now.
Banger.
People love when I say, how do I attack this, shove it down my throat? That seems to do pretty well. So anyways, or me using a Swiffer because I couldn't find a broom, and my dad comes home, he's like, the broom is in the garage. I'm like, God damn it, I just made myself look like a fool with a Swiffer. But it's just another day that ends with why. But Yeah, I mean, this is legit must see, and we do it. We cover the team. You do 3 shows a week. I do 5 shows a week. We do content every day. We're putting videos out. But past years, Mark, there's days we were out on date at night. There's days,
Yeah.
we were at the Diddy drinking instead of watching the Mets because we were drinking our heart away. But now it's like you're on a date. Sorry, babe. Met game. Like, you're at a bar mitzvah. Sorry, gotta have the game on. You're at a wedding. They're exchanging vows. Sorry, Brett Baty just hit a piss missile. Wherever you are, you gotta see it.
Yeah, it's really refreshing because Mets teams of the past. I mean, even last year at times, like OMG and all that stuff and Grimace was amazing, but like let's be honest, that was gimmicky, right? Right now, everybody's in the ballpark because the Mets are playing good baseball, because they're winning, because you want to see Francisco Lindor be one of the best players in baseball, because you want to see Pete Alonso be one of the best hitters in the league. You want to see these Mets pitchers shove every single night. Edwin Diaz come out, shut the game down, like top to bottom. All 26 men on this roster, and even guys that are being called up. Jose Azocar made a big appearance in the Philadelphia series. He's probably going to get sent down, it seems like, here before Friday, maybe for Jeff McNeil. But like every single person that's been on this team, Justin Hagenman, even in that Minnesota Twins series, like he made an impact. It's really awesome that the quality of baseball is so high right now for the Mets.
You set it up, so let's talk about it. I was going to follow that with about OMG. He released a song called Gustazo, which is kind of catchy.
Oh, okay. Check it out.
It's no OMG, and no one's putting up Gustazo signs. I got to look up what Gustazo means. OMG was definitely catchy, but Gustazo's got a little flair to it. But you mentioned Azocar and Baty, and I have that on the graphic as kind of the next subject. This is an intriguing decision. I think everyone's like, look, Baty just homered. It's got to be Baty that stays. But it's a tough call here, Mark, because one, Azocar's out of options, so you're DFAing him. You got to hope that he, you don't have to hope he passes through because it's not the end of the world if you lose Jose Azocar, but he is a good depth piece to have. He is a major, a major league fourth outfielder. He is 3 for 7 so far in this very small sample size. And, the king of that discussion is that he does play center field. Now, the Mets, want to employ this. All right, we'll try Jeff in center. We'll throw, Acuna in center. He's at 38 games of minor league experience there. Maybe Brett Baty and his foot will put in center, which I don't think the Mets are in love with. I don't think we are in love with. Tyrone Taylor's still going to get the bulk of this playing time until Jose Siri's getting back. And, Tyrone Taylor hasn't been playing bad, but I think we can all agree we don't want to see Tyrone Taylor 7 days a week. We'd like to see someone else there. But the discussion is, are they comfortable with these other players 2 times a week playing center field, hoping Azocar passed through or losing him, and trusting that this last week of Baty is the Baty that we see? Because in all reality, Baty's still not going to play much. Like, McNeil's and Acuna need to be playing almost every day, and Baty is a lefty, McNeil's a lefty, so Baty's not going to play versus lefties. McNeil might have some off days versus lefties. So Baty really is, Mark, just a pinch hitter and maybe plays third for Vientos once a week.
Yeah, I think the thing with Baty, the Baty and Azocar argument here, and it's a little more, I want to say, like, strategic more than necessarily baseball on the field value right now, because with Baty, if you send him down, he no longer has any options, which means that Brett Baty, this year, he'll be able to go up and down as much as he wants, obviously, because you get to use the option of the season. But the following season, Brett Baty, the next time he gets sent down, he will have to clear through waivers. So he loses a ton of value to this team as well as to other teams in Major League Baseball if there was ever still to be a Brett Baty trade. If he loses that option, that will be devastating to his value for both the Mets and if he's not with the Mets in the future. But the one thing I will say about him is since like April 8th, Brett Baty's got like an 800 OPS. His on-base percentage is around 360. It's been like 11 games in that sample, so it is still small. But I do think that we are starting to see a better version of Brett Baty that I think ultimately will be more valuable to this team than Jose Azocar. And while Brett Baty can't play center field, and you do make the good point of Jeff McNeil is going to take those left-handed at-bats at second base, I think we also have to give some credit to Brett Baty maybe getting a little more playing time at third base right now than he currently is. Vientos is still struggling, had a better series against Philadelphia for sure, but defensively, he is a liability. He can't be at third base late in games. At that position defensively, he just doesn't have the range, doesn't have the hands. He makes great throws, but athleticism-wise, he doesn't have it, where Baty has been a really, really good defensive third baseman. So I think along with his bat turning around, along with the flexibility of being able to play second and third base right now, I do think that he ultimately is the guy that they keep on this roster over Azocar, where even like the whole center field issue, Nimmo can still play center field if we need him to. McNeil, Acuna, like you mentioned, all those names. And while Tyrone, again, hasn't been fantastic, totally serviceable for the time being. And I think David Stearns in this front office knows that what they've seen out of Brett Baty is what we've expected out of him over the last week or two. That's the Brett Baty we've been waiting to see, is a better version of him. I mean, 425 off Zach Wheeler like that, hitting 114. I can't get over that. That's like, where's that Brett Baty been our entire life? As soon as he feels a little pressure, he steps up. But maybe that's also what he needed a little bit, was a little more pressure about like, hey, your time's running out, buddy. Like, you better figure out how to be a Major League Baseball player. But I hope it's ultimately Azocar. I don't mind losing him. I think a team will pick him up if he goes through waivers. But a guy like him does become a little bit redundant, especially when Drew Gilbert has been starting to play a little bit more, and he's been playing really well at the minors as well.
Brett Baty's back was against the wall. It was Squid Games. It was Hunger Games. He saw he was getting axed any day now and fought his way back. And we love a good comeback story. We're Mets fans, so we love a comeback. And Brett Baty came back from the depths of hell, and he was days away. Like, as
it was hours.
I mean, listen, yeah. I mean, as McNeil's rehab, I mean, I thought McNeil and Alvarez were going to be back over the weekend against the Cardinals, and as they extended that rehab, it gave Baty some more breathing room to get a few more starts. And if he goes 0 for 5 yesterday, there is a chance they go Azocar and send Baty down. But you do bring up the good point that if he loses that last option, he might not be as appealing in a trade to other teams. Now, he may not be as appealing when he's barely playing in the majors as well, but I don't know. We know what he is at AAA, so everyone's logic of get him every day at bat to AAA
Doesn't
for
matter.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that raises his value if he hits 400 in AAA like he always does. But I don't know if it matters at this point. You know what he is at that level. But, I think it's more intriguing of a decision and more tight than a lot of Mets fans believe. A lot of Mets fans are like, you're an idiot. It's Baty over Azocar. It's like, it's not that simple when it comes to playing time and divvying this up. But these aren't all bad problems because, one, you're getting
Great problems.
You're getting two starting players back. And, McNeil is going to be very intriguing. I think his new swing and more relaxed swing where he's kind of, I'm trying to think it reminds me, I guess, of Miguel Batista.
Interesting. Okay.
where he has that little like swing, like you see he's like a little bit more relaxed. Maybe having another kid, he's got a little bit more loose. That maybe the final baby is out of the system unless they plan on having another one. Maybe he's just more loose and he's not angry Jeff. Like maybe he's not happy Jeff. He's chill Jeff. Maybe.
He's okay Jeff. Yeah, he's content Jeff.
He's cozy Jeff. He's Jeff just smoked a blunt and he's just chilling out there. Maybe that's the Jeff that they have. And if they could get relaxed, Jeff, and with that torpedo bat, by the way, hitting some piss missiles at the bottom of the order, you're talking about a lineup with a lot of power. And then, you eventually get Siri back, who didn't show much, but was electric on the base pass.
Chaos.
Every time he got on base, he scored. So I don't know what, McNeil, I don't think will play against lefties. Baty won't play against lefties. This hurts Acuna in terms of everyone's like, you got to play Acuna every day. And I'm like, how? Like, if Taylor's playing center field and Taylor's good defensively, maybe once a week Acuna in center or Acuna versus lefties plays second. Maybe if Marte and Winker struggle, McNeil is a DH some days and they play Acuna at second. But how do you see the Mets kind of divvying this up? Or is Acuna just a once-a-week player, late-game defensive replacement and pinch runner?
No, I think Acuna is actually going to continue to play a pretty decent amount. Like you said, there's going to be some left-handed pitching. I expect Acuna is going to start at second base during those games. McNeil can also play left field. He could also play right field. He could give Juan Soto a day at DH. They could give Brandon Nimmo a day off. They could give Tyrone Taylor a day off in center field, whatever it is. So I think the Mets are going to be very creative with how fluid this lineup is and guys moving positions. I know we have Jesse Winker and Starling Marte that are at the DH position. That kind of does hurt us a little bit with flexibility because those guys can't really play the outfield. Winker more so can play it than Marte right now. But I do think that with McNeil coming back, you're going to see McNeil as well in left field, maybe giving Nimmo a day. You're going to see him maybe in right field. Juan Soto, I don't think, is taking a day off yet still as a Met. And not that I expect him to take a day off.
He's looked good defensively, too.
He's actually looked pretty
Gold
decent
glove,
out there
maybe?
in the outfield. We'll see more than 25 games, but it's an adventure watching him catch a fly ball, that's for sure. But the arm is fantastic, very accurate. I think McNeil's flexibility of where he can play all these different positions does allow the Mets to be a little more creative. I mean, Acuna, I don't think he's played third base yet, but maybe you give Lindor a day at DH and you let Acuna play shortstop for a game and McNeil's at second. Like, I think because right now we really haven't been getting that production that we expect to have Jesse Winker and Starling Marte at a consistent enough level where those guys can kind of be the pinch hit options off the bench more so, and you can move everybody else around and use that DH as like a half day off for guys.
Let us know in the comments below here at Mets Daily, what do the Mets do with this roster? What do they do with playing time? Let us know. Subscribe, smash that thumbs up, follow Mark at GiraffeNeckMark. Subscribe to the Mets Stuff podcast. A couple more minutes here with Mark because Francisco Alvarez is a guy we haven't mentioned, and he'll be back tomorrow as the Mets go to D.C. And the Twitter GMs want to say Luis Torrens should be starting every day. I'm sorry, that's not happening. And
No.
Luis Torrens has been a revelation. The fact he was making the same amount of money as me at the New York Post last year as a New York Met is absurd.
Traded for him for that much money, yeah.
At $100,000, he kept his job. I didn't. But Luis Torrens is not going to keep his job as a starter because Alvarez is a starting catcher. And I think a lot of people forget how much pitchers do love throwing to Alvarez. Torrens has a historic caught stealing percent. I mean, he throws everyone out to the level he's like the greatest of all time. He's like the GOAT of throwing guys out. And I get Alvarez is not that, but pitchers do love throwing to Alvarez. And we can't forget that a healthy Alvarez is a guy at the bottom of the order. He's kind of like the second half of the order that could hit you 20, 25 dingers and can come up with clutch hits. So you hope he stays healthy. I think Torrens, being a backup, he's going to play 2 to 3 times. He's going to play every day game after night game or vice versa. He's going to get a second start, maybe even a third a week. So I don't know if it's split time. Torrens is still going to play, but for people saying Alvarez shouldn't play, same with McNeil. These guys got to get their shot before you write them off. And I get it, the team's winning with these other guys. Doesn't mean they can't win with the new guys coming to town. And, the schedule police will argue the schedule will get tougher. The Mets have not played any good team. Shut the hell up. The Phillies are a solid baseball team. But those guys will still get their starts. But, Mark, I think me and you agree on this. Alvy is their franchise catcher, and he's got to start 4 times a week at least.
Yeah, I think if let's just pretend there's a week with 7 games, I think it's Alvarez for 4, Torrens for 3. And in a perfect world, it's Alvarez for 5 and Torrens for 2. But this is a really fortunate situation the Mets are in, is that if Alvarez is tired, if Alvarez needs a breather, if he's struggling, you can go to Luis Torrens and you automatically get a different version of production because, like you mentioned, the caught stealing rate, the defense is impeccable from Luis Torrens. The bat is fine enough. It's fine enough. I think people are getting hot with like the big hits that he's gotten, and the guy's been incredibly clutch. But like his OPS is like 650. It's not like he's hitting at this elite level where you can't have him not in the lineup every single day. But I think at the end of the day, Mendoza's been, like you said at the beginning of it, pushes all the right buttons. He's got a pulse on this team. He knows what works best for these guys. I think it's going to be Alvarez. It should be. Alvarez is the starting catcher with Torrens giving him those days off and rest. And he comes in late in games too when we need defense. If we're up big and we need to make sure there's nobody running on Edwin Diaz in the 9th inning in a 2-run game, stuff like that, then you could bring in Torrens. Like, it's nice that, because a lot of teams don't have this flexibility or this ability to sub out a starting player and really not lose quality. And especially for what the Mets need from Alvarez's lack thereof, defense, Torrens is one of the best at it.
And I think Hayden Sanger has earned himself at least the next man up if Alvarez were to get hurt again, which,
of course,
let's be real, it's probably going to happen the way he catches, the way...
Or Torrens, the way he's been getting hit with every foul ball in the world. Like, a catcher's going to get hurt. Hayden Sanger has completely earned himself a major league roster spot again on this team. He
got hit yesterday. I was like, Tyrone Taylor's about to come in and catch the rest of this game. Like, they had no other catcher. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. Now we see the emergence. I always want to see like an outfielder catching. Like, it's kind of like,
but for another team.
Yeah, someone else preferred, and not an extra innings of a tie game against the Philadelphia Phillies. But so Sanger, listen, I think this guy's earned a spot somewhere. I'm hoping he doesn't have to work at Whole Foods, as someone whose first job was at Walgreens stocking shelves. It wasn't fun, especially as an adult. I did it as a 17-year-old. Doing that as an adult, it is a humbling experience for sure. But we can't be making $10 an hour. We got to get this guy a nice little contract, a nice $100,000 Luis Torrens special. But he's probably earned more in this month with the Mets than he did at Whole Foods all off season. So it's a great story. And if it's not the Mets, I think he's earned maybe a backup spot somewhere. Let's not oversell it. He wasn't a great hitter, but defensively he was solid, and he's a good third string catcher.
Yeah, no, defensively he's phenomenal. I mean, that play he made on the Juan Soto throw, like Soto's throw was accurate enough, but to dive across the play like that, make the tag, fantastic play by Hayden Sanger. Saved the game.
There's been drama every day. Like like
know.
yesterday, so much drama. You know me, the FOMO I had not being there. I was trying to get a Phillies fan with a car. I was like, does anyone I know around here have a car, want to drive us? Because I'm not going to take the bus. The trains are too expensive. I need to be at this game. And I thought either Wheeler was going to shut him down, or on TikTok Live pregame, I said 3-2 Mets win on a walk-off. Well, they won 4-3 on a walk-off, so it was close. And I had the score right the other day. I said 5-4 Mets the other day. So I've been on a Houdini heater.
Better start making those bets on those final scores.
Well, if you bet on it, it's going to be 1-0, and you lose, of course. An NBA under special. The no one's scoring, everyone's getting hurt, leaving the game in the first quarter with a back injury or a headache. But yeah, this is must-see baseball, and the Mets will go to D.C. They get reinforcements back this weekend, and we haven't even mentioned his name because I feel like he's irrelevant at this point. But what are they going to do with Paul Blackburn? I mean, Paul Blackburn has a phantom knee injury. Like, Paul Blackburn is fine right now.
He's taking one for the team.
This is a Billy Epler phantom IL special. There is no way he's hurt. But I don't even know if there's room. Like, does he maybe replaces Danny Young, who, by the way, shout out to Danny Young, getting a couple of big outs against the heart of the order. Like, what do they do with Blackburn? Like, Montas and Manaea are for another day. We still got a month. Again, not bad problems to have, but man, David Stearns, Carlos Mendoza, they got their work cut out for them in terms of where these guys are going to play and who's going to make the first 26. And I talked about this all off season, Mark. David Stearns' genius is roster spots 26 through 40. He gets those fringe guys who might make it, who might not, who could step in. And that's what you see in this situation. He's going to have a tough time putting the top 26 out there soon.
Think about this. Like Griffin Canning coming into spring training, like everybody's healthy. He was like that 26th guy. He was fighting for one of those last spots, and he's been phenomenal this year. A 3.1 ERA on the season. He's shut down the Phillies. Like, the guy has been such a big game pitcher. So, yeah, for a guy like Paul Blackburn, I think that knee injury is going to be lingering just a little bit longer if I had to take a guess there. And I don't think Paul Blackburn's going to have any sort of problems with that either, getting that paycheck while kind of just sitting at home and rehabbing, as they say. But at the same time, like, great problem to have. How many times have we ever in our lifetime as Mets fans been like, the Mets got too much pitching? What are we going to do when all these guys are healthy? That being said, too, someone at some point is going to get hurt. It's the unfortunate truth. So the ability to have this revolving door of good starting pitchers available and guys that can come in and replace each other, like even a guy like Justin Hageman, who I mentioned earlier, he looked totally capable enough to be a major league pitcher when the Mets are in a pinch and need it. So having all these arms available, having this problem of too many starting pitchers for only a certain amount of spots, never thought I'd say that as a Mets fan.
And on top of that, we can agree that they probably could still use at the deadline a Sandy Alcantara, one of those guys.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, because come playoff time, you're going to need someone. And that you still got Drew Gilbert down the road. Ryan Clifford just hit a 440-foot homer yesterday. Like, there are good things happening in this organization. And, I know a lot of people want to step on us for getting too excited too early, but let us be excited. Last year is kind of carried over, the magic of last year. It's like the Avengers meme of what did it take? It took Jake Brown leaving New York for the Mets to be the best team in baseball. I'm worried if I move back in September, they're gonna be cooked in October. But Gotham needs me. I need to be back.
Where were you in 2015, by the way? Just curious.
I was in Astoria.
All right.
That's when the King of Astoria began.
Saved. You're saved.
Yeah. I miss Astoria. You know how much I love Astoria.
Of course, it's the best.
The rent is too damn high there now.
It's way too high.
Everyone's moving there. I think I talked about it too much. Everyone came to Astoria. Now everyone's there.
They saw the Instagram stories, giving it too much love.
They didn't believe it. They said it's too far. It's like, you got the girls in Brooklyn saying it's too far. I'm like, I'm closer to Manhattan than you are out of freaking Greenpoint or whatever. Greenpoint's not bad, but maybe like Crown Heights, like
definitely closer. Yeah.
Crown Heights, you're in Guam. Get out of here. Set that radius to 3 miles. Anyways, he's Mark Luino. I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Radio. This is Mets Daily. Mark, it's exciting. It's good to be a Mets fan right now. We'll try to stay even keel. We'll mentally take the day off today.
Yes.
We'll see how the Jets and Giants fail the draft.
I don't care about them.
We pray the Knicks take Game 3 and Cat get some fourth quarter touches and score. Because if you lose to Detroit, it'd be unfortunate because, with the Mets and Yankees right now, the Knicks got to keep the good vibes going. The Rangers are a crap show, that franchise right now. So we need the Knicks to keep going, the Mets and Yankees. And if you want more Mets content besides Mets Daily, go to Mets Up with Mark Luino and our buddy, better-haired James Schiano. Mark, good to have you on. Looking forward to – are you going to be at Subway Series at Yankee Stadium in a few weeks?
Yeah, I'm going to everything. How can I stay away from this team? Like, remember from the other guys, Will Ferrell's like, I got Knicks fever, I got Mets fever. I can't miss a game.
I'm looking at the road game. I'm broken. I'm looking at the road games and where to go.
Go to Boston. I got to maybe go to that one.
I think I'm going to go to. Let me know if you go. I got a Marriott plug, so I got an $80 room in Times Square on Saturday night.
Ooh.
So I Boston, the trip from South Jersey to Bronx to Boston, it just makes sense. And Fenway, Mets, Sox, I just hate that it's a weekday. But the Monday game, I think, is like Jewish Heritage Night too. So
okay, all right.
Call on me, Manischewitz on me, baby. But good to talk to you, and let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Smash that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a happy Friday. Take that Zyrtec. The allergies are going crazy. I'm struggling out here. Thanks for watching Mets Daily.